Okay, I traced out the wiring, and here it's kind of sloppy, you know. This is from these schematics here online. I traced out what's the vintage wiring, and the modern wiring, and the wiring for here. Now, you know, here's illustration for the pickup. Here would be the volume pot. Here's the wiper blade, and here's a lead that goes out, basically goes out to the guitar. Here's, you know, here'd be the jack, and after it's the capacitor and the tone pot. So this would be the ground, and here this would be the tone. It's a little confusing to me because the way I read this looks like a high pass filter, and I would think the tone pot would be a low pass filter. So I'll do some further research, see what's going on. But that's the vintage wiring. And the difference between the vintage and the modern is the tone circuit here comes to junction before the signal gets to the volume pot. So it actually goes here, and tone affects it before the volume pot can adjust the strength of the signal before it goes out. And in this circuit, I traced it out, and it's basically it's modern wiring. The difference is the way they manipulated which arms on the pots to solder and how they did it. If you look at the tone circuit, in the modern wiring, the tone circuit here, it comes through the capacitor, and then it comes through the wiper, the middle portion, and it's open-ended on one. So it just basically coming in through the wiper blade and then going to ground, and you adjust how much resistance you want. That changes the tone. In this guitar, it's not coming through the wiper, it's coming through the first end of this pot, and it's leaving out the wiper and going to ground. So effectively it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's the same. But the cool part about it is if you look at this circuit, the 50s diagram, all I have to do to wire this to be vintage, right, is just unsolder. We'll go close up. Unsolder this first lead for the capacitor and switch it over to the middle port. And the same with this neck pickup volume and tone. Just switch over this lead from the capacitor from this leg to the wiper blade, the middle leg. And just that jump converts it from modern wiring to vintage. By not having done let me show you. By not grounding the first part on the tone pot, okay, and grounding the middle one instead, it gives it more versatility. You basically having the same setup of the middle wiper blades grounded allowed them to have the versatility to switch back and forth. In fact, if you wanted, you could actually, if you didn't mind drilling a hole through this body, you could put a toggle switch, and we could wire this up so you could toggle between modern and vintage wiring if you wanted to do that. Okay, so that's that. So I think we found our two causes. You know, for here's obviously the whole, all the wires, the bridge, all that metal in the front of the guitar is not being grounded. So, it's acting like an antenna, picking up a lot of hum. Ground it, no more antenna, which is not, we don't want that. We don't want that shit. I don't know why this is a lousy soldering job. And we're going to bring back the usability of the bridge pickup, and that's just a simple soldering as well. And we're going to do one at a time and see how it affects the tone. Alright, thanks.